Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Of the Gambia's National Assembly election on April 9, 2022. Final declaration. Penultimate lapse of the activities of the election situation room and the decision room. A appreciation to all the partners and supporters to this invaluable process in the electoral cycle 2021-2023. Background. It may be recalled that on April 9, Gambians went to the polls to elect their representatives in the 6th legislative elections under the 1997 Constitution of the Second Republic. The National Election Response Group and partners, including the Civil Society Coalition on Election, CCE, and the National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, observed the process with the aim of monitoring, analyzing, mitigating electoral violence to contribute to a peaceful and credible election. Polls generally opened and closed on time across the Gambia, and results have been announced by the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC. There was fair voter turnout across the country. Total voter turnout was over 50%, representing a 7% increase from the last parliamentary election, which was 43%. A total of 246 candidates contested for 53 seats, out of which 19 were women. Only 3 women were elected. The Election Situation Room, ESR. The focus of the ESR is to facilitate the monitoring, reporting, analysis, National Assembly election. It's made up of 4 operational sections, namely data gathering, analysis, decision, and communication rooms. This declaration provides a summary of the observations of the electoral process by the National Election Response Group and partners. IEC preparation for the election. As part of its preparation for the April 9, 2021 presidential election, 962,000 people, 157 registered Gambian, comprising 545,318 being 7 females and 416,839 males, being 43%, registered to vote in the election. 57% constitute youth between 18 and 35 years. The election was held in 1,554 polling stations and 53 constituencies in 7 regions of the Gambia. Summary of observations. Opening of polling station. 91% of polling stations observed opened on time. Most of the laid-out opening procedures were adhered to by IEC officials, such as display of empty ballot drums in front of voters and party agents. Domestic and international observers were present at most polling stations. Voter process. Overall, there was fair turnout, voter turnout compared to the 2021 presidential elections, which was 89%. Generally, the voting process went smoothly with few technical hitches of interruptions. Voters largely comported themselves peacefully and there was adequate security. However, we have observed low compliance with COVID-19 protocols. There was fair representation of women among IEC officials, party agents, and security personnel at the polling station. Priority voting was given to the elderly, pregnant and nursing mothers, security agents, people with disability, and the media, which was present. However, accessibility to some polling booths for persons with disabilities remains a challenge. Closure of polling stations. Polling stations officially closed at 5 p.m. At the closure of polls, all voters in the queue were allowed to vote. Generally, polling staff followed laid-down rules and regulations for the closure of polls. Voting was generally peaceful. All the result sheets were signed by all candidates and party agents in the stations observed. Technical and procedural incidents. Generally, there were few technical and procedural incidents reported. In Chairman, Nyanija constituency, the NRP candidate and one NRP candidate unlawfully entered the polling stations with his vehicle displaying his party emblem and color, which resulted in the temporary closure of the polling station for about 30 minutes. In the end, uniformed security personnel had to escort him out of the premises and restore calm and order. In Latikunda Sabiji, an NPP agent was reported to have attempted to influence voters in queue. At Hagan Street, the NPP bureau opposite the polling station in Banjul South was open and functional during voting, which is in violation of the Election Code of Conduct, stating that there should not be any political activity within 100 meters from a polling station. In Busumbala constituency, the holes of 2 ballot boxes were blocked by 2 large tokens, one of each drum, which was quickly resolved by the IEC. There was uniformed security personnel on election duties present at polling station observed. There were uniformed security patrols countrywide, and the police activated an election emergency hotline 117 for the public to report any election-related issue. Security personnel conducted themselves professionally. No major uniformed security incidents were reported. Traditional and online media coverage. There was unhindered media coverage of the voting process. There were incidents of fake news circulating online about the election, which were fact-checked and declared as false. There was high presence of the media and responsible coverage of the election in line with IEC protocols. Observation of COVID-19 protocols. IEC made provisions to facilitate compliance with COVID-19 safety protocols. However, there was limited compliance. Independent observation of election. There was presence of domestic and international observers at the polling stations, mainly from the CSO Coalition on Elections. Gambia participates, National Human Rights Commission, peace ambassadors, the Gambia International Observer from ECOWAS, EU, Commonwealth, EU, embassies, and high commissions. Recommendations. IEC to ensure adequate training for their staff in order to provide efficient election services. In this regard, IEC is encouraged to make use of new technology of information and communication because it's not here. IEC is encouraged to create adequate polling booths in all constituencies, Minimum standards of gender representation as recommended by legislation should be adhered to by the government among IEC commissioners and senior management staff. Timely and effective communication by the IEC is essential in all phases of the electoral process to dispel rumors and suspicion among political parties and their supporters. Given the technical and institutional challenges, there is need for urgent legal and institutional reforms to modernize the electoral system for greater efficiency, transparency, and accountability in elections. Political parties should assume their responsibilities as key electoral stakeholders in maintaining the integrity of the electoral system by adhering to electoral laws and standards and promoting popular participation. The continuous challenges faced by persons with disabilities is accessing poll facilities. In accessing poll facilities and election information calls for urgent address by the IEC and the Gambia government. Voters must recognize the importance of elections in their lives and therefore should ensure active participation and refrain from hate speech, violence, and any acts that would undermine the integrity and peaceful conduct of the elections. Parties, candidates, and electorates in general. Stakeholders should continue and expand on voter education, election observation and monitoring, as well as peace building at all times. Furthermore, we reiterate the urgent need to equip the National Council for Civic Education with adequate human, financial, and material resources to continue to deliver civic and voter education. Gender parity must be adhered to through policies and legislation as recommended in previous election observation report. The CSO coalition renews the call for gender quotas through legislation at national, local, and political party levels. Continuous refresher training for journalists should be conducted on election matters. Conclusion, we commend Gambians for the patriotism and patience throughout the presidential election. We applaud the electoral management bodies for their contribution towards the holding of a free, fair, and peaceful elections. We urge all stakeholders to utilize laid-down procedures to seek redress on any electoral grievance. The election situation room will release a comprehensive report at the end of the electoral process. Thank you very much. May God bless the Gambia.
We're a bit nervous, thinking that that will be a reason to rig the elections. When we went to the IEC, then we were interviewed by Teranga FM and other radio stations. But it's also important, moving forward, that IEC, people need to be hearing from the IEC as things go. It also helps them. So this is fundamental, but also issue of results. Yes, I think IEC needs to be very careful, and I think since 2016, they are very sensitive, especially after those two results were read. I think they are very sensitive, but I think what we also encourage them to do is at least inform people that these are the results we are bringing. We're still verifying. In the next half an hour, we'll bring you so that you can go and nap a bit and put your alarm clock and get up again. I'm just saying. But yes, I think we're all singing from the same hymn sheet, and we are taking all these things to the IEC because it's a concern. Communication is
fundamental.
And it's fundamental.
I would want to express our appreciation and thanks, especially for the press, because you've been sitting from yesterday. You would be waiting for hours before we come for the actual press briefing. It's appreciated. We can see the solidarity and patriotism, being concerned citizens and wanting to have something to disseminate information to the masses out there. So we appreciate the partnership, and we hope that we are all into this together, and hopefully we will meet again in the future and continue the collaboration as partners, and also be part of the voter education, encouraging Gambians to change their attitude towards voting, especially for National Assembly elections. We've seen yesterday the voter turnout, especially in the morning in the Greater Banjul area. everybody was worried whether we would have the required percentage as far as voter turnout is concerned. But fortunately, by the close of the day, we realized that it has come to 50+%. And I think it's a responsibility of all of us, and more so you people in the media, to help us sing the song of the importance of voting, because it's a right. The moment you don't vote, I think you don't have a say. When things are going wrong, you cannot say anything because you've not contributed, you've not done your duty. So please, as I said, we are all in it together. We appreciate your effort, we appreciate your partnership, your patience, and we want to thank you very much and wish you all safe missions back to your respective media houses. And as they say it, aluta continua. Thank you very much.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.